Sunlight filters through the leaves onto a tree-lined suburban street, painting dappled shadows on the pavement. The air is still, save for the gentle rustle of wind and a faint, almost imperceptible hum, creating an unsettling calm. Lake, a slender boy with thoughtful eyes, walks slowly, his worn backpack a silent companion. His gaze is intense, taking in every detail. A cracked sidewalk, a bird perched on a wire. He watches the rhythmic rotation of a sprinkler head. His internal world, a complex tapestry. The cool blue-gray hues of the day cast a melancholic veil over the quiet suburban scene. Lake navigates a bustling school hallway, a sea of chattering students under the soft hum of fluorescent lights. His keen eyes observe a girl, clutching her books, her knuckles white, a silent tell in the chaos. A boy's quick, nervous glance darts through the crowd, his anxiety a palpable wave. The background blurs, emphasizing Lake's intense focus on these subtle, human cues in the sterile environment. In a math classroom, the scent of chalk and stale paper hangs heavy as Mr. Harrison's monotonous voice drones on. Lake sits at his desk, seemingly absorbed in a math problem, yet his eyes are distant and unfocused. His gaze is lost in thought, a world away from the equations on his paper. The low, ambient hum of the classroom electronics fills the silence, a constant, almost palpable presence. The classroom melts away, replaced by a chaotic, smoke-filled kitchen, flames dancing on the ceiling. The suffocating heat is a palpable blanket, the air thick with the acrid smell of burning. A boy, face contorted in primal fear, screams a desperate, unheard plea as glass shatters violently. Caught in the inferno, the smoke burns in my lungs, the oppressive heat searing my skin. The world dissolves into a terrifying palette of fiery oranges and angry reds, a hellish nightmare. The terrifying inferno vanishes, replaced by the dull hum of fluorescent lights in a math classroom. Lake, heart hammering against his ribs, grips his pen, knuckles white, as Mr. Harrison obliviously sketches on the board. The plastic of the pen creaks under Lake's desperate grip, a stark contrast to the mundane classroom reality. No fire, no smoke, just the quiet classroom, yet Lake's shallow breathing betrays his lingering terror. In the cool blue-gray tones of his bedroom, Lake sits hunched at his desk, a worn notebook before him. A solitary desk lamp casts stark, dancing shadows across the walls with his every frantic movement. His hand moves with furious intent, the pen scratching a desperate symphony across the page. He feverishly documents the memory of a burning kitchen, an inferno of the past he fights to preserve. Every detail, every flicker of flame, he tries to capture before the precious memory slips away into oblivion. His face, illuminated by the lamp, reflects the intense struggle to hold on to a truth that threatens to fade. A car blazes through a red light, its tires screaming a desperate protest against the asphalt. In the murky shadows behind the gym, a brutal punch lands, a swift and devastating blow. A girl, her hair a wild tempest, sprints toward oncoming traffic, her eyes wide with desperation. Each fleeting image carries a palpable sense of impending doom, a silent observer in every memory. Days later, Lake walks down the familiar suburban street, a sense of quiet observation about him. He spots a family getting into their car, a flash of recognition in his eyes as he identifies the vehicle. The woman driver pauses cautiously at the intersection, looking both ways, a simple act with profound implications. The car proceeds safely, averting the disaster Lake had foreseen, a breath held and then released. Lake watches, his face a complex canvas of relief and unsettling unease, the future subtly altered. Behind the school gym, Lake watches two boys, their argument building to a fever pitch. A muscular teenager raises his fist, mirroring a haunting memory in Lake's mind, the tension palpable. Suddenly, his arm drops, the fight averted as a subtle, crucial shift unfolds before Lake's eyes. The wind whispers through the trees, carrying the silent weight of an altered choice. A moment of profound change. A lone girl stands at a bus stop, her face etched with a silent sorrow that mirrors a haunting memory. The hiss of air brakes breaks the silence as a bus pulls up, its presence a stark contrast to the girl's quiet grief. With a heavy heart, the girl steps onto the bus, disappearing into its metal shell, safe from an unseen danger. The bus pulls away, leaving Lake to watch, a heavy sense of responsibility settling over him like a shroud. He stands alone, burdened by a silent weight, the girl's departure a stark reminder of his unspoken anguish. In his bedroom, Lake's face is illuminated by a desk lamp, his expression one of intense focus as he writes in his worn notebook. His handwriting is precise, almost clinical, as he records the averted incidents and the corrections he's made. The weight of his unique burden settles upon him, the sole keeper of memories for realities that never were. The low, constant hum of the room underscores his deep, solitary contemplation. In a kitchen bathed in the hum of fluorescent light, Lake pushes food around his plate, his gaze lost in thought. His mother, Sarah, chatters beside him, her cheerful voice a stark contrast to Lake's silent struggle. "Are you excited for school today, honey? New semester, new opportunities?" Sarah asks, oblivious to his distant stare. Lake offers a curt, "Yeah," his mind wrestling with an unseen burden, his attention far away from the breakfast table. Sarah continues, "And don't forget that history project is due next week. You've been working so hard on it," to his monosyllabic. The schoolyard pulsates with children's boisterous energy, their laughter a vibrant symphony of carefree delight. Lake, a solitary figure, sits quietly on a bench, a silent observer amidst the joyful chaos. His gaze drifts, settling on a boy whose unrestrained laughter echoes through the yard, utterly oblivious to Lake's presence. It is the boy from Lake's burning kitchen memory, a ghost from a past he cannot shake. A profound sense of detachment washes over Lake, a silent chasm separating him from the vibrant, carefree world around him. His secret knowledge, a heavy burden, isolates him, making him an outsider in a world that can never truly understand. Lake hunches over a school computer, his fingers flying across the keyboard with frantic urgency. The screen flashes with desperate keywords. False memories, déjà vu, parallel universes. He scrolls through endless results, his brow deeply furrowed in growing frustration and desperation. The library's gentle hum is a stark contrast to the deafening silence of his fruitless search. In the cool blue glow of a laptop, Lake hunches over a sketchpad, his face illuminated with intense focus. His hand moves with obsessive precision, meticulously capturing the image of shattered glass on the page. Each stroke is a desperate attempt to immortalize the fleeting memory before it vanishes into the night. He is lost in his art, trying to draw every detail of the broken kitchen, consumed by the past. Lake strolls through a vibrant suburban park, his gaze sweeping over the children at play, a silent sentinel amidst their joy. He watches, a flicker of concern in his eyes, as a young boy nearly tumbles from a swing, then catches himself with a gasp. A girl almost trips on a loose shoelace, regaining her balance with a small, triumphant wobble, unknowingly observed by Lake. A peculiar protectiveness settles over Lake, a silent guardian of these almost happened moments as the wind whispers a melancholic tune. In the bustling school cafeteria, Lake's eyes, sharp and watchful, scan the vibrant chaos before him. His gaze fixes on a girl, and a chilling memory flashes, her choking, a terrifying snapshot of a past reality. Yet, she chews slowly, deliberately, a stark contrast to his memory, her careful movements, a silent victory. He registers the subtle, almost imperceptible shift in her actions, the conscious choice that saved her. A quiet triumph washes over Lake, quickly followed by an unsettling unease, a shadow in his victorious moment. In his bedroom, Lake sits under the soft glow of a desk lamp, casting intimate shadows across the walls. His notebook, now thick with countless entries, lies open before him, a testament to a strange reality. Lake's eyes scan each line, rereading words that hold an unsettling significance. With intense focus, he underlines sentences, drawing intricate connections between the cryptic words. He meticulously searches for a hidden pattern, a deeper meaning within the chaos of his written thoughts. The stark silhouette of an old concrete bridge cuts across the fading dusk, a lonely sentinel at the town's edge. Below, the water rushes with a constant, low roar, a relentless current beneath the silent structure. The sky above bleeds from cool blues to muted grays, painting a canvas of impending nightfall. This desolate landscape sets a somber stage for an unfinished memory, hanging heavy in the twilight air. On a bridge at dusk, the wind whips around Lake, tearing at his hoodie as the roaring water below intensifies. His phone vibrates in his hand, a text message glowing on the screen, its content a shrouded mystery. A growing dread grips Lake as he senses footsteps approaching from behind, the sound almost lost in the wind. The deafening roar of the water below mirrors the building storm within Lake as he braces for the unknown. Lake bolts upright in bed, a sharp gasp tearing through the night, his heart a frantic drum against his ribs. The bridge memory still burns vivid, refusing to fade like the usual echoes, its weight palpable and real. He feels the phantom wind on his face, hears the rush of water below, a sensory ghost of the recent past. His hand instinctively reaches for the notebook on the nightstand, seeking a desperate anchor. Each detail of the memory is precious, a fragile truth he must capture before it slips away into the void. The quiet room holds the tremor of his awakening, a solitary battle against the encroaching tide of forgetfulness. Lake sits on his bed, the morning sun streaming through the window, as he opens his notebook with a hopeful sigh. His breath catches in his throat. The pages, once filled with meticulously recorded memories, are now pristine and blank. The ink has vanished without a trace, leaving an unsettling void where his past once lay. A wave of cold panic washes over him, as the room's silence turns oppressive, heavy with his sudden despair. Lake's gaze is transfixed on the final page, a chilling revelation awaiting him in his bedroom's dim light. A single, unsettling sentence appears, scrawled in an unfamiliar hand. "You don't just remember the corrections." His eyes widen, a terrifying blend of fear and dawning comprehension washing over his face. The low ambient hum of the room seems to intensify, a sinister echo of his growing dread. Lake stares out his bedroom window, his eyes fixated on the deceptively tranquil suburban street below. The ordinary scene, once comforting, now pulses with an unsettling, charged meaning in his troubled mind. A neighbor walks their dog, a mundane act that sparks a flash of chilling recognition in Lake's gaze. He watches, his brow furrowed, the calm exterior of the neighborhood now a veil over hidden truths. A profound question gnaws at him, wondering if he is merely an observer or an unwitting participant in these corrections. The quiet street becomes a mirror, reflecting his growing unease and the weight of his dawning realization. In a bustling school hallway, Lake moves through a sea of faces, his gaze now unnervingly intense. He studies his classmates, a gnawing question in his mind. Has he subtly influenced their every choice? The once familiar hallway now shimmers and distorts, a veil pulled over his perception. Each face he passes seems to reflect a fragment of his own unsettling memories, shaping their reality. The vibrant chaos of the school day now feels like an illusion, an unsettling dance orchestrated by an unseen force. Lake returns to the library, the familiar scent of old books now, a stark reminder of his escalating desperation. His once methodical research has transformed into a frantic quest, an urgent search for elusive answers. He is no longer content with passive observation. A profound need to understand timeline shifts consumes him. His fingers fly across the keyboard, a blur of motion fueled by a desperate urgency. Each click and keystroke is a silent scream for comprehension, a battle against the unknown. Sunlight bathes the suburban street, a gentle breeze rustling through the trees, creating a serene, almost dreamlike atmosphere. Suddenly, a woman emerges, her presence strangely familiar, as if plucked from a distant memory. As she draws near, her eyes meet mine, and a soft, knowing smile graces her lips, hinting at a shared secret. A jolt of recognition, a strange intimacy, electrifies the air between us, defying the mundane setting. It feels as though we share a history, a silent understanding woven into the fabric of time itself. Her smile lingers, a mysterious echo of a past that only we two can truly comprehend. Lake's bedroom is bathed in an ethereal, cool blue light, casting long dancing shadows across the silent walls. Lake sits at his desk, a worn notebook spread open before him, its blank pages a canvas of unspoken fears. His pen hovers above the pristine paper, a silent struggle etched deeply into his eyes, a battle of creation and fear. A profound fear grips him, a dread of what might emerge from the depths of his mind, or what might vanish forever. The oppressive silence of the room weighs heavily, pregnant with unspoken questions, each breath a testament to his inner turmoil. His gaze drifts, lost in the shadows, as he grapples with the invisible forces that control his thoughts and his pen. Lake stands on a bridge at dusk, the wind fiercely tugging at his hoodie. Below, The water roars with a constant, powerful sound, mirroring the turmoil within him. He slowly pulls out his phone, a silent beacon in the fading light. The screen remains blank, a stark reflection of his empty waiting. Lake stares at the dark screen, a profound sense of anticipation etched onto his face. Soft morning light spills into Lake's bedroom, illuminating a scene of quiet contemplation. Lake sits on the edge of his bed, a blank notebook open in his hands, a canvas for unseen thoughts. A single stark sentence, "You don't just remember the corrections," commands the otherwise empty page. He extends a finger, tracing the words as if to conjure the elusive spirit of their unknown author. The low, constant hum of the house fills the silence, an unsettling backdrop to his silent quest. His gaze remains fixed, lost in the profound mystery of the words, seeking a hidden truth. The school cafeteria erupts in a chaotic symphony of lunchtime chatter, a deafening buzz of youthful energy. A new student, a quiet girl, navigates the crowded space, her eyes downcast, a fragile presence amidst the storm. A strange premonition flickers, a vague sense of an almost happened moment, just out of reach, unsettling the air. My jaw clenches, a silent struggle to anchor myself in the present, to quell the rising tide of unease. Sunlight dapples the suburban park path as Lake strolls past a vibrant basketball court, the air alive with youthful energy. His gaze fixes on a boy poised for a daring, perhaps reckless, shot, the ball a blur in his hands. A subtle, almost imperceptible warning ripples through Lake, a silent premonition in the sunlit air. The boy hesitates then, against expectation, makes a safe pass, the risky shot abandoned. Lake continues walking, a quiet wonder stirring within him, questioning his unseen influence on the world. Lake lies awake in bed, his eyes fixed on the ceiling, lost in thought. The words from his notebook echo in his mind, haunting him with their implications. He grapples with a chilling realization. He might not just be remembering, but causing these changes. A terrifying question forms in his mind. What does that make him? Is he a silent, unseen force, altering reality with his very presence? The unsettling truth settles over him, a heavy shroud in the quiet of his room. Lake arrives at school, his gaze darting through the bustling entrance. He scans the faces of students and teachers, searching for an unseen sign. An urgent tension pulls at him, looking for a memory about to unfold. The casual chatter of students rings louder, more fragile, in his ears. He braces himself, anticipating a disaster he must avert. In a sterile math classroom, Mr. Harrison's voice drones on, a dull hum against the fluorescent lights. Lake sits at his desk, his gaze a restless bird, flitting from the textbook to the door, then to the window. His mind is a world away, anticipating a subtle shift, a crack in the fabric of his reality. The monotonous hum of the fluorescent lights above is a constant, unnerving presence, a prelude to the unknown. His eyes, though fixed on the present, search for the sudden intrusion of another timeline, a secret, hidden world. Lake waits, a silent sentinel, for the moment when his fractured reality will finally reveal itself. In his bedroom, Lake hunches over a drawing pad, his brow deeply furrowed in intense concentration. The soft scratch of his pencil fills the quiet room, a desperate attempt to capture the bridge's intricate details. He meticulously sketches the rough concrete, each line an echo of forgotten memories. Blurred lines suggest the rushing water beneath, a turbulent force mirroring his inner chaos. Subtle strokes convey the unseen wind, a tangible representation of his swirling emotions. Lake labors to externalize his chaotic memories, giving them a raw, tangible form on the page. A tiny child toddles toward the curb, oblivious, as Lake's eyes widen, a familiar dread coiling in his gut. Just as he tenses, a parent's hand shoots out, pulling the child back from the brink of danger. The tension in Lake's shoulders eases, a silent sigh escaping him at the averted incident. This strange feeling, less intense now, is becoming a grim companion he's learned to live with. In the dim glow of a bedside lamp, Lake sits on his bed, a silent sentinel in the night. He opens his notebook, its worn cover creaking softly, a familiar sound in the quiet room. His eyes scan the page, searching for new words, but only the persistent blank space greets him. Lake traces the familiar, unchanging words with his finger, a silent plea hanging in the air. Lake stands on the bridge as twilight deepens, painting the horizon in dramatic hues of purple and orange. The wind howls fiercely, whipping at his clothes, a relentless force against his solitary figure. Below, the water roars with insistent power, a constant thunderous presence. A profound pull washes over him, a heavy sense of inevitability as he knows this memory will not be erased. Sunlight streams through Lake's bedroom window, illuminating dust motes, dancing in the air like tiny, forgotten stars. Lake, still groggy from sleep, rubs his eyes, his mind slowly awakening to the new day. He stares at the blank pages of his notebook, a canvas awaiting inspiration, yet something else catches his eye. A faint shimmer emanates from the page, a subtle, ethereal light pulsing from a single sentence. The words, "You don't just remember," the corrections glow ominously, hinting at a deeper hidden truth. The school hallway, once a blur of everyday chaos, now hums with an unsettling tremor. Lake feels an inexplicable tension, a prickling sensation rising on his arms. His eyes dart, scanning the faces of students, a frantic search for the source of this unease. Each movement, every fleeting glance, is scrutinized in his desperate quest for answers. The soft focus blur of the hallway, once mundane, transforms into an ominous, foreboding vision. A silent alarm rings in his mind, warning of an almost happened moment hanging in the air. On a quiet suburban street, the ordinary day is shattered by the screech of tires. A delivery truck swerves sharply, a hair's breadth from a parked car, a near collision unfolding in slow motion. Lake watches, his eyes wide, as the dramatic scene unfolds before him. A familiar mental jolt, a sudden flash of the collision that almost happened, seizes Lake. He closes his eyes, trying to process the intense, unbidden vision that has just gripped him. The world spins, then settles, as Lake grapples with the lingering echo of danger. In the dim quiet of his bedroom, Lake sits cross-legged on his bed, a statue of stillness. His eyes are closed, his face a mask of intense concentration as he battles an unseen storm within. He breathes deeply, each inhale a desperate attempt to quell the tempest raging in his mind. A low, almost imperceptible hum fills the room, a constant, mocking companion to his inner struggle. Lake fights for control over his fragmented memories, a silent, desperate battle for inner peace. On a desolate bridge at night, the biting cold air stings Lake's exposed skin. His phone vibrates suddenly, a jarring buzz against his palm, demanding his urgent attention. Lake's eyes dart to the screen, a text message appearing, its words a blur of impending dread. The immediate impact of the message hits him like a physical blow, a punch to the gut. Footsteps echo distinctly closer behind him, each sound a hammer blow to his racing heart. His heart hammers against his ribs, a frantic drumbeat of terror in the unsettling silence. Sunlight streams into Lake's bedroom, illuminating dust motes dancing in the air like tiny silent stars. Lake sits at his desk, a worn notebook open, a page waiting for inspiration. His finger traces a faint, translucent symbol, an otherworldly impression on the blank page. Lake leans closer, brow furrowed in intense concentration, attempting to decipher the cryptic form. In the hushed library, Lake hunches over his laptop, a scholar amidst a fortress of open books, his brow furrowed in deep concentration. His intense gaze is fixed on a faint, mysterious impression in his notebook as he meticulously researches ancient symbols. He scrolls through obscure languages and ancient texts, but each desperate search yields nothing, a growing frustration etched on his face. The quiet hum of the library seems to mock his fruitless efforts, a cruel symphony to his relentless, unrewarded quest. Under a vast, green canopy in a suburban park, Lake sits, his gaze drawn to the invisible dance of the wind. He watches as the wind weaves through the branches, a silent, ancient whisper in the sunlit air. A profound connection binds Lake to the natural world, a spiritual link to every rustling leaf. The swaying branches seem to echo shifting timelines, a secret language only he can perceive. Leaves whisper ancient secrets in the gentle breeze, their soft murmurs a symphony around Lake. In the soft glow of a bedside lamp, Lake clutches his worn notebook, his gaze transfixed by a cryptic symbol. A low, hypnotic hum fills the room, an almost tangible presence. He closes his eyes, a deep breath filling his lungs, seeking to unravel the symbol's hidden meaning. Lake attempts to feel the memory it represents, his mind reaching into the unknown. Dusk settles over the bridge, casting long shadows as Lake stands at the railing, a lone figure against the brooding sky. His gaze is riveted on the turbulent water below, a swirling abyss reflecting the gray heavens. An unseen force tugs at him, an invisible thread connecting him to the depths. The air crackles with an unspoken tension, a magnetic pull drawing him closer. He's drawn to the water, to the promise of an unfinished memory's resolution. The sky above, a canvas of deep, foreboding gray, mirrors the turmoil within him. Lake's eyes snap open, his body jolting upright in bed, a vivid dream's residue clinging to his mind. It wasn't a memory, but a dream of the symbol, pulsing with an ethereal inner light. He scrambles, a frantic urgency in his movements, for his notebook and a pen. His hand moves rapidly, sketching the intricate symbol onto a page before it vanishes from his memory. Each line of the symbol is a desperate attempt to capture the fleeting vision, to make it real. The school hallway pulses with the chaotic energy of students, their faces a blur of youthful exuberance. Lake navigates through the throng, his gaze a searching beacon amidst the swirling currents of youthful faces. His eyes snag on a new student, a boy whose intense gaze holds a depth that belies his tender years. Across the bustling hall, their eyes lock, a silent, profound connection forming in the cacophony. For a fleeting, breathless moment, an inexplicable resonance passes between them, a shared understanding. The world around them blurs into soft, indistinct shapes, their connection the only sharp focus in the frame. Under the bright suburban sun, Lake stands at a distance, a silent observer of a brewing storm. Two neighbors, their voices slightly raised, their bodies rigid with tension, face each other on the quiet street. The air crackles with an almost palpable energy, a moment teetering on the edge of escalation. Just as quickly as it began, the tension dissipates, a sudden release in the charged atmosphere. The neighbors turn and walk away, their footsteps echoing the diffused moment, leaving a quiet aftermath. Lake observes, learning to recognize these subtle, powerful shifts in the intricate dance of human interaction. Moonlight streams through Lake's window, painting long, eerie shadows across his quiet bedroom. At a worn wooden desk, Lake's intense gaze falls upon a notebook, open to a profound, unsettling phrase. His own handwriting boldly declares, "You don't just remember the corrections." A chilling revelation. A deep furrow forms between Lake's brows, his mind grappling with the ominous weight of corrections. He ponders a cosmic architect, a hidden force subtly shaping the very fabric of their existence. As dusk settles, Lake's phone buzzes relentlessly, a vibrating torment in his hand. His gaze is fixated on the screen, the new message icon, a taunting beacon in the fading light. An almost irresistible urge washes over him to reveal the obscured words, to surrender to the unknown. The footsteps behind him grow louder, closer, a palpable presence in the encroaching darkness. Sunlight streams through the blinds, illuminating dust motes dancing like tiny spirits in Lake's bedroom. Lake sits on the edge of his bed, a worn notebook open in his hands, lost in its mysterious pages. His finger traces a newly discovered symbol, faint yet distinct, unlike any he's seen before. It's a complex, intricate glyph, adding a new, unsettling layer to his collection of mysterious marks. The room hums with a low, constant thrum, a subtle, ambient sound that fills the silence with an unknown presence. In the hushed library, Lake is hunched over his laptop, fingers ablur across the keyboard. The screen glows with a chaotic blur of search results, timeline manipulation, reality warping. His face, illuminated by the screen, is a tense mask of intense focus, etched with growing desperation. The ominous phrase, causality paradoxes, flashes across the screen, a chilling confirmation of his fears. He is no longer seeking mere answers, but validation for the terrifying possibilities swirling in his mind. His desperate quest for proof consumes him, a silent battle against an unraveling reality. Lake sits on a weathered wooden bench, his gaze lost in the vast, endless canvas of the sky. Wisps of white clouds drift lazily above, morphing into fluid, shifting timelines in his mind. He watches them endlessly reform and change, a silent dance of possibilities unfolding in the heavens. A gentle breeze rustles through the leaves, a chorus of whispered secrets echoing through the park. In Lake's bedroom, a cool blue light from a single desk lamp casts long shadows, illuminating a notepad. Lake's hand moves with precision, drawing two intricate symbols side by side on the crisp white paper. With a deliberate motion, he overlaps the symbols, searching for a hidden connection, a deeper meaning. His focused gaze reflects a profound quest, as if the symbols hold the key to his own existence. Lake stands on the bridge, the last vestiges of daylight fading into a bruised purple sky, an urgent tension in the air. A profound sense of urgency washes over him, a relentless pressure, as if the very air is running out. The roar of the water beneath the bridge transforms into a deep, resonant hum, a sound that echoes in his mind. His gaze is fixed on the turbulent water below, a silent battle raging within him. Soft morning light illuminates Lake's bedroom, dust motes dancing in the air like tiny, silent secrets. Lake sits at the edge of his bed, his gaze fixed on an open notebook, a canvas for his troubled thoughts. Beneath familiar symbols, a chilling new phrase, "Your presence is the catalyst," is scrawled in an unknown hand. A shiver runs down Lake's spine as the room's low hum pulses, a disquieting rhythm of unease and dread. Lake stares intently at his reflection, a distorted image in the polished metal of a locker door. A subtle, unsettling flicker washes over the reflection, almost imperceptible. For a fleeting fraction of a second, a different Lake appears, with a new haircut and an unfamiliar expression. This alternate self hints at a reality just beyond his grasp, a chilling possibility. The once familiar school hallway begins to warp and stretch, mirroring his growing internal unease. The shifting walls and floor become a visual representation of his mind unraveling, a disturbing hallucination. A gentle breeze whispers through the leaves of suburban trees, carrying the faint, joyful echoes of children at play. Lake observes the children, their innocent laughter, a bright counterpoint to the quiet street. A powerful surge of protectiveness washes over Lake, a fierce resolve to shield their timelines from disaster. The soft rustle of the wind now feels like a subtle, unsettling warning, stirring unease in the peaceful scene. In his dimly lit room, Lake paces restlessly, the floorboards creaking a rhythmic counterpoint to his racing thoughts. He runs a hand through his hair, his brow furrowed in deep contemplation, grappling with an unsettling revelation. The words, "Your presence is the catalyst," echo in his mind, shifting his entire understanding of his own existence. The staggering implications threaten to unravel everything he thought he knew, his world teetering on the edge of chaos. The bridge at dusk, bathed in the fading light, vibrates with a final, insistent buzz from Lake's phone. His eyes, wide with disbelief, scan the unseen words, his face contorting in shock. A grim resolve hardens Lake's features as approaching footsteps echo, growing louder behind him. The ominous sound of footsteps closes in, a chilling premonition in the deepening twilight. Soft morning light filters into Lake's room, illuminating dust motes dancing in the air. Lake, with a furrowed brow, stares intently at his notebook, lost in deep concentration. A complex, intricate symbol dominates the page, unlike anything he has ever seen before. The symbol pulses with a faint, ethereal light, imbued with a life of its own, mesmerizing Lake. A subtle, ambient hum in the room now resonates, a deep, sustained chord vibrating through the air. He knows, with an undeniable certainty, this symbol is the final piece, the key to everything. Lake sits motionless, his eyes locked on the computer's blank screen, a silent observer in the school library. The soft glow of the monitor reflects in his vacant gaze, revealing a mind lost in a world unseen. He seeks no external knowledge, for a maelstrom of information swirls within his very being. Timelines shift and intertwine in the vortex of his thoughts, a silent internal tempest. His stillness belies the turbulent, chaotic dance of countless realities unfolding within his mind. Lake stands by the pond, his gaze fixed on the water's surface, a silent contemplation in the suburban park's embrace. Ripples spread outward from an unseen disturbance, expanding and intersecting, mirroring an inner turmoil. The wind whispers through the branches of the surrounding trees, a soft, knowing sigh, echoing Lake's unspoken thoughts. The gentle rustling of leaves creates a melancholic symphony, a soundtrack to his profound introspection. His eyes follow the mesmerizing dance of the water, a subtle tension etched on his face. The serene park belies the storm brewing within Lake, a quiet intensity in his unwavering stare. In his bedroom, Lake slowly closes his notebook, the mysterious symbols now etched into his very being. A profound understanding dawns on him, revealing his true power and an unforeseen destiny. He is the boy who remembers what never happened, a guardian against unseen threats. He is the boy who ensures the past remains undisturbed, safeguarding the future. The cool blue glow of his room transforms, no longer isolating, but empowering, a beacon of his awakening. Lake stands alone on the bridge, a solitary figure against the inky sky. A sliver of moonlight pierces the clouds, casting a soft, ethereal glow upon Lake. Below, the powerful roar of the water is a constant, almost tangible presence, a symphony of raw power. Lake's face, bathed in moonlight, reveals a profound sense of purpose, a quiet strength within him. He stands, a beacon of resolve against the vast, dark expanse, embracing his inner strength. Sunlight streams into Lake's bedroom, illuminating dust motes dancing in the air like tiny, silent stars. Lake stands by his window, his gaze sweeping over the quiet suburban street below, a picture of ordinary calm. The tranquil scene outside belies a complex tapestry of countless averted disasters known only to him. Each house, each tree, a silent testament to his unseen work, his constant vigilance. A strange, heavy peace settles over him, a burden and a solace in equal measure. His eyes, deep and knowing, reflect the quiet heroism of an ordinary morning unfolding. Lake moves through the school hallway, no longer merely observing, but sensing every subtle shift in the air around him. His presence is a quiet force, a silent guardian moving through the bustling corridor. The hallway's soft focus now feels like a protective aura, a shield around his watchful form. He is attuned to the almost moments, the fleeting glances and whispers that others miss. Every step he takes is deliberate, a silent promise to guard the unseen, the unheard. The sun bathes a quiet suburban street in a deceptive glow. As I walk, my eyes scanning familiar houses, my heart jolts. A face I know, yet a ghost from an erased memory, approaches. They pass by, their steps light and oblivious, completely unaware of the disaster I averted. A silent, almost imperceptible nod escapes me, acknowledging my hidden role in their continued existence. A ghost from an erased memory passes by, their steps light and oblivious. My gaze follows them, a silent testament to the averted disaster and the life I saved. In his bedroom, Lake sits at his desk, his notebook closed, a silent testament to a journey completed. His gaze is distant, lost in the intricate tapestry of memories that now define his very essence. The low ambient hum of the room, once a mere sound, transforms into a comforting lullaby of altered realities. He is at peace, the memories an intrinsic part of him, no longer needing to be written down. Lake stands on the bridge at dusk, his silhouette stark against the fading light, eyes fixed on the horizon. The wind whips at his hoodie, a relentless force, yet Lake remains unyielding, a statue of resolve. Below, the river rushes, a ceaseless flow mirroring the relentless march of time and endless possibilities. A quiet determination settles on his face. Lake is ready for whatever future awaits. Lake's silhouette, a stark and enigmatic figure, is etched against the fading light on the bridge. The low, ambient hum swells to an unsettling crescendo, then slowly diminishes into profound silence. The screen plunges into an abyss of blackness, leaving the audience to confront Lake's true, unsettling nature. The cool blue-gray of the previous scene lingers, a haunting echo of a fragile, fractured reality.